Okay guys, so in today's video we're going to be doing dashboard stuff, taking the dashboard out. I'll show you how it's done. I know that there aren't really too many video tutorials on how to take the dashboard out on the V12 Miata, but today I'm going to show you how we're going to do it, and it's a fairly simple process, just a couple of bolts, easy access to most of them, so it's really not difficult and it's really nothing to be afraid of. So we're going to get busy with that, and I'll probably show you in real time what it's going to be like, just to give you some sort of expectation, and then hopefully we can get to cleaning up the wiring as well, because that is definitely something that needs to be sorted out. You don't want to be driving around with loose wires underneath and potentially causing, fire hazards and car not working as it should. So yeah, let's get to it. Come with me and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so as most of you car guys know, and pretty much anyone who works on cars a lot would know, that it's always good practice to disconnect the battery before you start fiddling with wires. And generally, when doing dashboard stuff, you always be disconnecting some things. So that's something to keep in mind and just try not to forget. Alright, cool. So enough with the chit chat. Let's get to work. So I know that a lot of you Miata experts are probably going to have a lot to say about this, but this is just my way of doing it, and I know that a lot of you guys have your own way of doing it, so you can use it, don't use it. I'm just showing you what you can expect from this. You can see we've now got the center trim out, and next thing that we're going to be moving on to is removing this whole cover, and then we can take it from there. Okay guys, so one thing that I think I should mention as a tip, I guess you can say, is that don't lose your trim screws. You always want to try and keep them together, that way you don't mix them up, because you'll find that each and every one of them sort of have their place, so you don't want to mix them up. Just complicates everything and makes it a lot more difficult. But this is the last one for this, and then this whole cover will come off. Okay, with the screws being loose, you can kind of get your fingers at the back of this, and if you can yank it, you'll feel the clips release themselves. You kind of want to be gentle, but sometimes ignorance and brute force is the way. But luckily with this one, as you can see, it's come out pretty easily. When you remove the bottom half of this, you want to get this cover off here as well. That just simply moves out of the way like that. Also got some screws and clips, and then this bottom half will come out just like that. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do in preparation is actually take these little panels off. Get a small enough screwdriver, while being gentle, as you can see how easily they come out. Remove these panels, and there's access to bolts over here which need to come out on both sides. So I'll take you around that side and I'll show you. There on this side we have them also. Carefully get these out. There's one, there's two. Now we have full access to these bolts that need to come out. Okay, well, here's another pro tip for you guys. Make sure you get a tube socket 10mm. Makes it a lot more difficult for you to lose. Damn, I think it's tight. For this, I also like to use an extension, just so I don't bash the ratchet or any other tool that you might be using on the panels or the door close to where you're working, because obviously you don't want to damage and scratch things. Okay, so there's the top one. Now we do the bottom one. Keep in mind I have pre-loosened these off camera, because I don't want you guys to see me struggling trying to crack these bolts off. There's pretty much loose. That one's out. Now we can also get this one, and then we can move on to the other side there. As you can see, I've already taken off the fuse box panel, which is this, and you'll see there's two screws over here which I've already taken out. That releases this fuse box, so that when you actually remove the whole dash, it can pretty much move past this, as you don't want it to come with it, and with all the wires going inside it just becomes a mess. So you can undo those 2 screws and you're good to go. Next thing you want to do is you want to get your hand behind you, and we're gonna unplug these now. Okay, there's one, there's the plug. Now we'll do this other one. A bit of a tight fit, but you can see it moving there. If I can get my hands in there nicely, then we can also unplug that. To make this easier, I just unplug this OBD port. You'll see there's like a little clip over there that you press and it will release it. But there, see that white, focus camera, you see that white thing inside there? That's the plug that we need to get. Okay, now the trick to doing this is you want to go from this angle and push, kind of lever off that bracket, and there you see the plug is out. Easy as that. So once again we got to remove these panels to gain access to the bolt, and that is a 14mm bolt, and we've got to do it on both sides, so on this side and the opposite side. Okay guys, just a warning, these bolts are very tight, so it takes initial force to crack them, and then they will pretty much come off freely, as you can see, like I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we do the other side. This thing's actually pretty easy to remove with your fingers, sorta, just to give you an idea of how tight this thing actually is. I'm gonna show you. Damn. Like I say, the initial crack is actually so difficult. So if you are having a hard time, don't be surprised. Jeez. Okay, got it. Wish you guys could see from like a third person's point of view of just how hard it is to get out. If I didn't mention, it's actually 2 bolts either side, so there's 2 over there. Come around this side, you can also see that there's 2, so you've got to get those 2 out. Now it's time for the top one, so we also carefully take this little cover off, trying not to damage anything as we do it. Like I say, you really want to get a nice small thin flathead screwdriver and carefully take that cover off. Now there's another 10mm bolt that I'd suggest using a spanner to get out. This one should come pretty easily, but as I said to you before, being very careful not to damage anything around it. It's never nice having an interior that's, you know, all banged up and scratched and stuff. This is where you got to sit, so you always want it to be nice. Okay, so I didn't show you guys, but these are the bolts that you got to remove from the steering column, which I guess you can say holds it to the metal bar that runs across in the dash like this. So this is something that you got to release. Okay, now we're going to get busy with the cluster. We've got to take these screws out, because now we want to remove the cluster, so we can pretty much do that to only unplug the wires. That's the main reason why we're doing this. If it was like a, imagine if we had like a Bluetooth cluster or like some wireless thing, some wireless cluster, then we could obviously leave the dash in, but yeah, this car's not from today's times. Pretty sure even today's times cars have a whole bunch of wires going in them. Probably the main computer runs in the dash, I don't even know. Okay, well, that one fell out there. That's that screw. Yep, same one. Okay, this can come off. Like I said, guys, sometimes it just takes a bit of brute force and ignorance to take these panels off. I know it looks like I'm being a bit rough, but I got no choice. Okay, this panel's loose. Okay, so now we remove this, and now we can get to these screws over here on either side, you can see there, and then the instrument cluster is ready to come out. Let's just get to doing these. Look, I really don't want to lose these screws because I've kind of just been taking them out just to really move on with the video, because I don't want to linger on things. Have you guys watch me unscrew for like the next hour. But yeah, as I said, we need to get this out so that we can unplug everything. That's the main objective, yeah. Oh, it's a lot harder than it looks. Hope you guys can see from there. So I'm having a hard time. Damn. It's like they're really in there. Is that all? Okay, nice, that's all. Alright guys, well that's it for part 1 of Miata dashboard removal. Sure, you can see most of it is loose, but I think what's maybe holding it in place is the vents. I think the vents and all these other things, like something inside here, it feels like it's still holding on to something that it shouldn't be in order to get this dash out. But for the most part, a lot of the dash is loose, and I think we are getting close. I think what we're going to do is also remove the A-pillar, the inner A-pillar trim panels, and that also might free up some space. But other than that, I think we made good progress today, and we'll see you tomorrow.